Well, meanwhile, President Obama using his weekly radio and internet address to make his case for a military strike against the Assad regime and reassure war-weary Americans that Syria is not another Iraq or Afghanistan. But is his push enough? Deneen Borelli is director of Outreach for Freedom Works and a Fox News contributor. Stephen Sigmund is senior vice president of the Global Strategy Group and former communications director for New Jersey Governor Jon Corzine. Thank you both for joining us. Deneen, I'll begin with you since we'll allow ladies to go first here. Listen, the bottom line is the president's argument convincing enough to persuade Americans to go along and get along with some sort of military intervention in Syria?
No, absolutely not. And here's the difference between Iraq and Syria. With President Bush, he had the public support of 70%. He had support of Congress, and he had international support. President Obama is 0 for 3 on all points, Kelly. And remember, anytime Obama is off script, off teleprompter, he puts his foot in his mouth. And that is what he did on August 20th, 2012, when he referenced the red line point. And then he tries to blame it on the world that he didn't make that comment. He didn't make that statement. He said that just this week. It's unbelievable.
Stephen, you know, senators and members of Congress are basically agreeing, Democrats and Republicans alike agreeing with what Deneen has said so far. We do see a minority number of representatives saying that they will back the president. What do you think he gets from Congress when they return to the House and Senate on the 9th?
Well, from House Republicans, he gets very little. I mean, Ronald Reagan used to joke when he was going to play golf, he was asked what his handicap was, and he would say Congress. And I think the same is true of Barack Obama with House Republicans. Time and time again, they seek to block whatever he wants to do because they see their job as just blocking him and getting reelected. The bottom line here is that you have House Republican leaders like John Boehner and Eric Cantor and Republican defense specialists like John McCain and Chuck Hagel who say this is the right thing to do and the right approach. And of course, Americans don't support it yet. They didn't support the action we took in Libya. They didn't believe that we could get Osama bin Laden before we did, until this president takes the action that he needs to take in order to protect and defend the nation.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quickly, because we've talked to some generals and generals who have appeared here, and generals who have managed and prosecuted war against our enemies in the past, and all of them are basically saying this is a dicey option for the United States.
Right.
Going in alone has dire unintended consequends.
First of all, they're not going in alone. This reminds me so much of the debate that happened before Libya, when Republicans derided the president over and over again.
Time out. Let me hear what you have to say, Stephen. You say we're not going in alone.
We're not going in alone. We're going in with France. We're going in with
that's it.
No, that's not true. We're going in with Spain. We're going in with Israel. We're going in with other allies that we just talked about today. This reminds me of what happened in Libya, when Republicans just derided the president over and over again before he went in, going after him for his bad comment about leaving from behind, but then he ended up putting together a coalition that got Gaddafi out of office without a single U.S.
It should be a political issue and not a military issue. That's from the EU today. We're all alone on this. And again, this is Obama saving face because he put his foot in his mouth. FreedomWorks.org has an initiative, No War in Syria. We have our own issues right here in America. I'd love to have seen your initiative in Iraq. We have our own red lines right here. Unemployment 7.3%, in the black community 13%. We need to take care of home. This is a civil issue, and the United States of America is not the police of the world.
Before I let you go, Stephen and Deneen, Stephen, before I let you go, last question here. What are your concerns about going into war?
I have the same concerns that anybody else would have about it, but we're not going into war. What the president is asking
You're saying a military strike.
The president is asking for is a limited military action to punish Assad for using chemical weapons against his own people.
If I can get a word in edgewise again, but Deneen, the president said it's an open-ended
He has no idea, Kelly. See, this is what the apology tour gets you. Obama has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't have a timeline, and he's dragging us into this situation where we don't see the end of the road of what's going on. We are not the police of the world. This is a civil war, and it's not our matter.
What Deneen reflects is the
what I'm
opinion,
reflecting is
the
common
opinion
sense.
of House Republicans who try to stop this
No,
president
even some
every
of
time
Obama's
and have a
base
9% approval
No,
rating
you're
as a
wrong.
result.
Lady and
Obama's
gentlemen,
base doesn't
lady
even approve
and
some
gentlemen,
of them.
I call order to this debate
Yes,
right
Kelly.
now. Fair and balanced debate. But what both of you are showing us is a very, very good view of what's going on in the halls of Congress when
Yes.
all of them return on the 9th.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank
you
you
both.
Thank you.
All right.